Sup guys, Nathan here, bringing you part 2 of my tips and tricks video concerning the Man vs. Machine new game mode that Valve decided to release for Team Fortress 2, so let's get into it. So in part 1, I left off talking about what class your teammates should be, what loadouts they should have to be most effective, and then what the duties and priorities are of each class, to help out your team the most. And I'm actually going to talk to you guys about some perk tips that I've learned. And I just wanted to tell you guys that I've had a lot of soldier experience actually playing Man vs. Machine, so this is mostly regarding playing soldier. So I mentioned in the last video that the best rocket launcher you can choose for Man vs. Machine as a soldier is the black box. And, I mentioned it in the last video, but I'll just say it again. It's basically, gaining that 15 health for each person hit. You're going to be firing into a large group of enemies, so hence the logic would tell you that you'd be gaining a lot of health. But the main thing I wanted to tell you guys was that the perk option, when you're in the upgrade store, the most powerful one is the reload speed, and that's going to be the #1 thing you want to buy before anything else. You want to just fill it up right away. And I don't know if you can tell in this gameplay, I haven't really decided what gameplay I'll use, but basically the reload speed is powerful because even though the plus 20% damage ability costs $500, the reload speed costs half that amount, and you can pretty much get the exact same effect. You're going to be dealing out a lot more rockets rather than, rockets that are maybe more damage, and they balance each other that way. However, I'm talking about balance on the battlefield. So if you have 2 reload perks versus 1 damage bonus perk, you're going to be dealing, let's say, like 2 more rockets that are normal damage rather than 1 rocket that only has 20% more damage. And, I'd rather definitely have the reload speed because they both cost the same amount of money, but you're getting so much more with the reload speed perk. So since I have played a lot of soldier in Man vs. Machine, I can pretty much tell you guys what perks you'll want to be buying when. So with your initial $400, you're going to want to buy, level 1 of reload speed, so then you have 150 money left over. And you don't want to spend that on anything, because basically the self-boosting perks, the plus 10% movement speed and the jump height and the critical resistance, you don't want to buy those because really that will get you nothing. What you want to focus on for Man vs. Machine is offensive perks, and you just don't want to spend any of your money on defensive perks such as that. So basically, with your initial $400, like I said before, you should spend $250 on 1 reload perk, and then once that round is done, you're pretty much going to have enough money to buy 2 fire speed perks, which means you can fire 20% more faster. So you're going to want to buy those, and then you can focus on the clip capacity / ammo enlargement perk, where you can basically increase your clip size by 2 for each perk that you buy, and then you can also increase your ammo capacity by I think it's 50%. So I would definitely stick with a 1-to-1 ratio for those 2 perks. If you buy one, you definitely want to buy the other because ammo is just so important. And then once you have one of each of those, you can then, spend money on those 2 perks, but then you're also going to want to buy the fire speed perk as you get enough money for it. So you're kind of gonna spread your money over those 3 perks, and then once you have all of those filled, you're just such a beast on the battlefield. And maybe you can see it in my previous video how at the end of the round, wave 6, I was just I don't even know how to explain it. I was just sending out rockets like they were nothing else. But so yeah, that pretty much sums up the whole soldier perk buying order and stuff like that. One other perk that I actually forgot that you can spend money on, and I have done it every once in a while, is the plus 2 health regeneration per second. It's kind of nice to have a health regen, even if it's very small, so that means you don't have to find a health pack to regain your health. You can just wait a little bit. But it's nice kind of having that comfort of, you don't have to find a health pack, even, your health may regenerate super slowly. So I have also played my fair deal of Medic in Man vs. Machine, and the last of the perk tips I have really are for Medic, but that's to basically, for your Crits Crag or Metagun or whatever gun you may be using, I would definitely buy your heal rate full first. Just save up your money, buy all three of those, because your heal rate for Medic is the most important thing that you can have for your team, because that's your job, is to heal people, and the faster you heal people, the more useful you are. And then after that's full, I would buy an Uber Charge rate perk, where it builds your Uber Charge 25% faster, and then, you know, after that, I'd probably spend money on a +2 health per second to stay alive on the battlefield, because, you know, obviously, if you're dead, you're not any use to your team. So then, after I've bought those perks, I would definitely, you know, kind of just spread my money around the Uber Charge rate perks, you know, building the 25% faster Uber Charge. But yeah, that's just kind of the buy order for Medic. So I have a few tips left over. These are really small tips, but kind of just like a miscellaneous assortment. When Sentry Busters come, you need to call that out, and then have your engineer, like if you're an engineer and you see a Sentry Buster incoming, you need to go to your Sentry, pick it up, and run away. The job of your teammates is to kill it while you're running away, because the Sentry Buster will naturally chase after you. And, you know, you guys, like as an attacker, you need to focus on the Sentry Buster, because, you know, obviously if your sentry's down, then that's bad. So, also one other tip I have is when a tank arrives and you're out of ammo, just take the time to go get some ammo and continue firing at it rather than pulling out your melee, because you will find that that's super common. Once you're hammering on a tank, you find, oh, I'm low on ammo, well, I'll just take out my melee because I gotta keep hitting on it. It's like, no, you deal so much more damage if you just go get some ammo. It'll take 10 seconds, and then you can continue to deal like more than 10 times that damage on the tank. So, you know, it's just common sense. And the last tip I have for Man vs. Machine in TF2 is basically, you know, don't be afraid to save up your money for the next round, because I'm especially talking about if you, like, with your initial $400, if you spend $250 on your first perk, do not feel like you have to spend that remaining $150 just because there are perks that you can afford with that money. You know, just kind of save up your money. Like, don't feel like you have to spend your money on a perk that you don't think would be worthwhile just because you have some money left over from what you did want to spend your money on. So that's just some money management tips for Man vs. Machine, and that will actually wrap up this video, guys. I don't really have any more tips for you, but I definitely had to make 2 videos for this because I just had a lot of stuff to talk about. And if you could leave a rating for this video, I'd really appreciate it, because I do put a lot of time into this. And if you like TF2, feel free to subscribe, because as always I bring lots of that to my channel. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next video, and peace out.